There is a kind of loneliness that people rarely talk about. Not the loneliness of being single. Not the loneliness of living alone. But the loneliness of lying next to someone every night and still feeling completely alone. It sounds strange, doesn't it? After all, marriage is supposed to be the cure for loneliness. We're told that finding the right person will make us feel seen, understood, loved. And for a while, it often does. But sometimes years pass. Life gets busy. Conversations become shorter. Responsibilities become heavier. And without realizing it, two people who once shared everything begin living parallel lives. Together. Yet apart. Sarah once described her marriage this way. "We don't fight much," she said. "We don't hate each other. We just stopped finding each other. At first, it happened gradually. Work became demanding. The children needed attention. Bills had to be paid. Meals had to be prepared. Days became schedules. Weeks became routines. And somewhere between all the responsibilities, the connection quietly slipped away. Not with a dramatic goodbye, but with silence. The hardest part about being lonely in a marriage is that nobody sees it. From the outside, everything may look perfect. You attend family gatherings together. You smile in photographs. You celebrate birthdays and holidays. People assume you're happy. After all, you're married. What could possibly be wrong? But loneliness isn't always about physical presence. It's about emotional absence. It's about having nobody who truly knows what's happening inside your heart, even when they're sitting right beside you. Many married people don't miss romance as much as they miss connection. They miss being asked, "How was your day?" And having someone genuinely care about the answer. They miss laughing together, sharing dreams, talking about fears, feeling understood without having to explain every detail. Sometimes what hurts most isn't what was said. It's what was never said at all. There is a moment many couples experience. One partner begins telling a story. Halfway through, they realize the other person isn't listening. Maybe they're scrolling through their phone, watching television, thinking about tomorrow's meeting. The story ends. Not because it was finished, but because it no longer mattered. At least that's how it feels. And moments like these seem small. Yet over time, they accumulate. Like tiny cracks in a wall. Until one day, the distance feels impossible to ignore. The truth is that loneliness in marriage rarely appears overnight. It grows in neglected moments, in postponed conversations, in unresolved disappointments, in all the times we assume there will be another opportunity later. Later becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And suddenly, two people wake up wondering where the closeness went. Some people respond by withdrawing. They stop sharing their feelings. They stop expressing their needs. They convince themselves that it doesn't matter anymore. Others become resentful. They carry silent disappointments for years. Not because they want to, but because feeling unseen hurts. And when pain remains unspoken, it often transforms into distance. What makes this loneliness especially painful is the guilt that comes with it. Many people think, I shouldn't feel this way. I have a spouse. I have a family. I should be grateful. And so they silence their loneliness. Pretend it's not there. Smile when they're hurting. Because admitting the truth feels selfish. But loneliness doesn't disappear simply because we ignore it. It waits quietly in the background, growing stronger. The good news is that loneliness does not always mean love is gone. Sometimes love is still there, buried beneath exhaustion, stress, miscommunication, and years of unmet needs. Many couples who reconnect later in life say the same thing. We never stopped loving each other. We just stopped reaching for each other. And there is a difference. A very important difference. One evening, Sarah decided to do something she hadn't done in years. She sat beside her husband after dinner. No phones. No television. No distractions. And she asked a simple question. Do you ever feel lonely too? For a moment, he said nothing. Then his eyes filled with tears. And he answered, every day. It was the first honest conversation they had shared in a very long time. Not because the problems disappeared overnight, but because the walls finally cracked. And through those cracks, connection found a way back in. Sometimes we assume our partner knows how we feel. But people cannot respond to feelings they have never heard. We wait for them to notice, to guess, to understand without explanation. And when they don't, we feel disappointed. Yet vulnerability is often the bridge that reconnects two hearts, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's scary. If you're feeling lonely in your marriage, please know this. Your loneliness is real. Your feelings matter. And acknowledging them does not mean your marriage has failed. It means you're human. It means your heart is asking for connection. And connection is not weakness. It's one of our deepest needs. Maybe the first step isn't fixing everything. Maybe it's starting an honest conversation. One genuine question. One moment of listening. One act of reaching toward each other instead of away. Because sometimes the distance between two people isn't measured in miles. It's measured in unspoken words. And words, when spoken with kindness, have the power to bring people home again. Marriage is not the absence of loneliness. It is two imperfect people choosing again and again to find each other through it. Some days that choice feels easy. Other days it feels difficult. But every meaningful relationship is built through those choices. The choice to listen. The choice to understand. The choice to stay curious about the person sitting across from you, even after years together. And if nobody has told you this lately, being lonely does not make you ungrateful. It does not make you broken. And it certainly does not make you alone. More people understand this feeling than you realize. Perhaps they're listening right now, quietly nodding, recognizing themselves in these words, hoping for a connection too. And maybe tonight, instead of assuming your partner knows how you feel, you'll take a small step toward them. Because sometimes the shortest distance between two hearts is simply an honest conversation. And that conversation might change everything.